Hi guys, welcome to the SQL class. Today I will explain the what is the data, what is the database, what is the SQL, what is the SQL server. What is the data? The data means collection of the information from the reference. For suppose you are the student have the number of parameters. The parameters means student name, student id, student class, something. These are the information of the student. These information is means student data. So you understand, the data means collection of the information from the reference. Here is the reference is student, information is student parameters. All the parameters called as data. So the data is stored in the database in the applications. In what applications? And apps, web applications, mobile applications, scientific data. These are all the data is stored in the database. These applications have the every application have the database. And next, what is the database? The database is organizes the collection of the data from the reference or source. Here is the reference. What we are explained, student. So student. So database is organizes the collection of the data from the source or reference. So the data is stored. The stored data can easily accessing the managing and updating in the database. Yes, and databases are used to store, retrieve and manipulating the data effectively, making them required applications. So what is the database? Data in the database is collection of the information are stored in the database, that is called database. The data stored in the database we can easily stored, and we can easily managing, we can easily updating in the database. For suppose if you have your data, the data is we can store in the database very easily, and we can manage the data. For suppose number of students is there. So that students data we can manage easily in the database, and we can update the data. Every day they have the updates. So for suppose some applications every day to day updates is there. That updates are we can update easily in the database. The databases are used to store, retrieve and manipulate the data effectively, making them required required for applications. What is the SQL? The SQL stands for structured query language. It is a programming language, and it is used to managing the data in the database. The database also called as RDBMS. The RDBMS is stands Relational Database Management System. So what is SQL? SQL is one of the language. It is used it is used for database. It is it is used for database. It is managing the data in the database. It helps the managing the data in the database, and it is the relational database management system uses the SQL language for using the managing the application. What is SQL Server? The SQL Server is relational database management system, which is built by Microsoft. It is very useful tool for the data storing, managing and analyzing the data. What is the use of SQL? The SQL is used to perform the various operations that are like we can create a table, can modify the table, and we can change the column names and table data. And the SQL is used to inserting the data. For suppose you can create the table You can create the table in the database. Created the table in the database, so the table has no data, so you can use the SQL language to insert the data in the table and updating in the table and deleting the data from the table, uh, data in the database, also querying the controlling the access to the data. Where is the use of SQL? The SQL is standard language for the databases, but some other DBMSs are their own developer changes. So for suppose Microsoft SQL, it is used SQL, but some differences is there SQL and Microsoft MySQL, same as the PostgreSQL and micro. Some databases are that are used SQL, MySQL, PostgreSQL, Microsoft SQL Server, Oracle, SQLite. The SQL is used in different applications. Different applications that are web applications. For suppose websites, Flipkart, Amazon, some these are web applications. Mobile applications means Google app, Google Drive, and Flipkart, Facebook app, and something like that. Business intelligence, data analytics, MSBI, Microsoft Business Intelligence, something like that. And scientific research and finance and banking applications. Banking applications, SBI, Union Bank application, and Federal Bank application, something like that. In the Microsoft SQL Server, we can create the database with the help of SQL language, and with the help of SQL language we can control the data in the database. That's guys what is the SQL today.